So, I want to tell you about the time I accidentally manifested a swimming pool in under 2 weeks. Hi, I'm Sarah, a human design practitioner, astrocartographer, and manifestation enthusiast. This is part two in a series of magical moments and manifestations I've encountered in my life. My wish for sharing these stories is to show you and remind you all of the magic that there is to be had in life. So, on January 1st, 2024, I decided to try out To Be Magnetic, which is a manifestation platform. It's an app on your phone, and it focuses on reprogramming your subconscious mind. And I really love an experiment. I've got a good amount of 3 lines in my human design chart, if that means anything to you. So, a little context. During this time, I was living in Encinitas, California, but I was looking to move back to my little hometown for a bit. My lease in California was up in February, so I didn't have a ton of time to find a new place and coordinate a cross country move. I had just been home over the holidays and scoped out a couple of places that ultimately fell through. So at this point, I was a little bit stressed finding a place and coordinating movers and all that stuff in such a short amount of time. But I knew it would all work out, and it did. So, somewhere between January 1st and January 10th, I did one of To Be Magnetic's Deep Imaginings, which are these guided meditations that cover all sorts of topics. Really, whatever you're like looking for or struggling with at the moment, you can find one of these deep imaginings to sort of help you get over the thing or heal from the thing. And I can't remember exactly what the topic was for this deep imagining, but what I do remember is that it was a guided meditation where I was asked to visualize some beautiful place where I felt free and relaxed. Again, I don't remember all the details, but I remember I had to envision some place that made me feel free and relaxed. What I do remember is that there was a pool, and it was a small rectangular pool that had grass on either side. It felt private and secluded. And during this session, I was floating on a raft by myself, soaking up the sun, not a care in the world. I felt completely relaxed, at peace, at ease, and free. It was pure bliss. I was definitely relaxed in this pool that I had created in my mind's eye. So, all of my life, I've wanted to live somewhere with my own private pool. So, I wasn't surprised that this is what I created when I was asked to take myself somewhere where I felt completely relaxed. I knew at some point I would live in a place where I had my own pool, but that wasn't even on my radar with this next move. Like, I absolutely wasn't even looking for a pool because I knew that when I was going back, it was going to be temporary. Like, I just wanted to find a nice place. And I don't feel like so when moving back to my hometown, there's literally like one neighborhood that I want to go back to, and that's where I grew up, where my parents grew up. It's a really fun neighborhood. It's just my favorite place. It feels like home. This neighborhood is not known for having houses with like big yards, and it's certainly not known for having houses with pools. The houses are like pretty close together, and this neighborhood's like more in the city. So while I was still in California, I had Zillow alerts set up to notify me when places went up for rent in this particular zip code. And I was looking at houses, apartments. I wasn't being super picky. It was really just the location that I was being picky about. So on January 11th, 111, for those of you that are into numerology, 111 is like one of the most powerful angel numbers. It's a sign of manifestation, alignment, new beginnings. So on that date, I got a Zillow alert at like 6 a.m. that morning for a house that matched all my criteria and would be available on February 1st. And it had a pool, and not just any pool, but a small rectangular pool with grass on the side surrounded by a privacy fence. So I've got to weave a little bit of human design into this story because it applies. In human design, there are two manifestation styles. Some people are wired to manifest actively, which means for them, it's important to get really specific about what they want and really visualize the details. The other way to manifest, which is the way that I manifest, is manifesting passively. And this is really through feeling. So it's not necessarily about like visualizing all the details, but it's more about really feeling what that will feel like when you have that thing. And that's exactly what happened here. So, yes, the visualization that I went through with the To Be Magnetic program, I was asked to visualize a place and come up with some details. But ultimately, what I was being asked is to feel a certain feeling. And the feeling that I was working through in that meditation was the feeling of peace, relaxation, calmness, and freedom. So during that manifestation, those were the key feelings that I was going through, and that's what my manifestation style really locked into, was the feeling I would feel and that feeling that I was craving if I had my own little pool to put in. So I had 0 intention of having a house with a pool during this short stint back in my hometown. My only intention was to spend some time with friends and family and quit my corporate career, but that's another story, before I decided on my next location. Spoiler alert, I'm in Spain. So for me, what I've learned about manifesting is to stop trying to control the specifics and instead tune into how you want to feel. That's when like something bigger takes over. And it ends up working out way better than you imagined. Like I'd always dreamt of living in a place with a pool at some point in my life, but I had no idea it was going to happen at this point, this early on. Like I had no intention for a pool at this point in my life. And there it was. And, it was one of the best summers of my life. I quit my corporate career just before summer started, and I literally spent that summer floating in a pool. And I felt that freedom and that peace and that relaxation in real life, just how I felt it. So, like, I wasn't even looking for a pool. I was looking for a feeling. And that's when the universe said, like, here's your pool surrounded by grass, enclosed in a privacy fence, and here's your perfect move date of February 1st. Oh, and all that happened on January 11th. 111, just in case you need a sign that you're on the right track. So, whether you manifest actively or passively, the invitation is always the same. Just start paying attention. The universe is always responding to something. And so the question is, what are you putting out there? So, if you're curious on what your manifestation style is in human design, you can pull up your chart on my website, manifestingsunshine.com. I'll put a link down below and look for the bottom right arrow. If the bottom right arrow is pointing left, then that means you are an active manifester or you manifest actively. And so you want to really visualize and get down to the nitty gritty details on what it is you're trying to manifest. Now, if that bottom right arrow is pointed right, then you are a passive manifester like me, and you are designed to really focus on how you want to feel once that manifestation has come to life. So, really focus on the feeling and what that will feel like in your body, and that will be your best path to manifestation.